Good evening, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Business PNG. The music industry in Papua New Guinea is fast changing. Gone are the days of record labels releasing cassettes and albums of the hottest artists of the day. Fast evolving technology is building a do-it-yourself culture amongst young Papua New Guineans, thus making it easier for independent artists to record straight out of their home studios and share via the internet, eliminating traditional methods of broadcasting such as radio and television. 40 years on, at the dawn of a new era in music, this is the PNG music industry.
Music contributes to countries' GDPs and creates a plethora of business avenues that link up to other industries. Proper regulated recording industries generate tens of billions every year. Within the Pacific and locally, artist revenues are a fraction of their potential due to the absence of regulated bodies such as the Australasian Performing Rights Association. With a brief recap of Papua New Guinea's music industry over the last 40 years are two pioneers in the country's music industry, Mr. Navugeno Rupa and Mr. Kiki Geno, two of the founding fathers of Paramana Strangers.
Named me Kiki Geno, I'm the founder of Paramana Strangers and also the lead singer of the Paramana Strangers. Me legally yet na me collect him sampla kentin 15 na me try sinang lo navis na paitim lo handblon me na mi sin me working triple album lo NBC in a long time CHM pioneer me na and bring me ikam lo studio blow them in 1975. I myself, Kiki Geno, and Terea Iro, Valavu Renagi, Alu, and Dr. Wariyamo, and my late brother Vageno, and Rupakala.
Okay.
And four of them were only died finishing. Only four of us were still here.
Okay.
I myself, Balavu, Navu, and Alu. Only change him music now. Sampla only use him vocoder recording. Only know use him really neck blow all. But machine also mem sin. Man sin. Not like me sin now. I'm sin throughout my neck. Like since him neck blown me. So now I become I think me strong yet. Before, suppose you start singing, okay, now you walking back up, or you make a mistake, and by all of you, by go back and start again, beginning. Yeah. Also, look also one night, one song. What may talk young Papua New Guinea artists must try and Tintin law way back music, because now music is fading away. Papua New Guinea music is fading away. So try your best and Tintin back law 1969 time may start.
Hello, I'm Navugeno Rupa from Paramana Strangers. I'm one of the vocalists. I really try my best to become a music man. I follow him around, no matter he chase me or tell me not to come, but I am there. I was really trying my best to learn something out from Kiki. In 1982, 81, 82, we were doing promotions. There was a company called Send Me Gold, and we do play string band music from Coles Club, now Amini Park. Mondays, Tuesdays we play at Gateway Hotel. Wednesdays we play at Kone Tigers Oval. Thursdays we play at Beef Tavern in Badili. And Fridays we come back to Coles again, promoting that San Miguel beer. And that time, you know, our payment was only 60 kina an hour. And we do a big promotion for San Miguel. I'm very happy. City is changed. Maybe the attitude of the people should be changed as well, you know. Let all on together and then bring up our city.
To say the music industry has changed is the understatement of the century. With the progression of technology comes more and more home studios, paving the way for independent artists and music producers.
Here come the yachts, here come the yachts.
So basically, you know, in Palm, like the population is massive in Port Moresby now, with the influx of people, whether it's because of LNG or people are looking for a better life or coming to be with family. Population has definitely gone up. And like I mentioned before, it's, you know, back when I was in school, I couldn't afford a laptop, you know. I wouldn't even dream of asking for a laptop. You know, my parents would probably slap you in the side of the head and say, go read a book. But nowadays, a lot of kids in high school, it's normal to have a laptop. And so, you know, you might have a suburb, like we're here in Boroko, or, you know, or Gerahu, Tox, you know, Waigani. These are like big suburbs with a lot of youth, and there'd be, you know, a lot of youth within one particular area who have access to this sort of technology. So every suburb that you have, you know, where you might have had one maybe recording studio if you were lucky, now you can easily have, you know, 30, 40 young guys, young producers making beats, so they call it. In this modern day of technology, music has really come a long way, and there's definitely a lot of new emerging artists. Having said that, there's always good and bad with technology, you know, and with music, unfortunately, if you're not careful, everything can sound similar because everyone's using the same software or the same plugin or, you know, the same synthesizer. And back in the old day, like a guitar was a guitar. I wouldn't say old day, like even now, it still happens. But unfortunately, with the advent of technology, live music has sort of slowed down a little bit, which is unfortunate. Like I'm a big fan of live music, and I grew up with, we call it wire in the village, which is like string band music. And I'll never be as good as my old man on the guitar. Like he can make that thing talk, you know. And for me, you know, I have more control over like a piano or a turntable, the way I scratch sounds and create sounds like that. And that's something that's new to him. But I think the traditional forms of music are something that younger musicians still need to sort of familiarize themselves a lot with and not be too reliant on technology. And I think that's sort of given us a very specific sound for the new music that's coming out of Papua New Guinea. And we don't want to be boxed into this particular sound because we're not creative enough to look at other ways of generating sound and music. So the advent of technology has been, I guess, a little bit negative in that sense. But on the flip side, it's affordable now. And because it's affordable, because technology is so cheap now, kids can afford to get a laptop, you know, and anyone can produce music now. And you don't need a big recording studio anymore. And so therefore, there are a lot of new artists coming up through in Papua New Guinea. Music sharing, it is inevitable. You know, it's how music gets popular. So it's, artists need it, but it's like a double-edged sword. We need it, but then because people share music, people don't want to buy music. And so your music gets popular, but then you don't get any money for it because people are sharing without buying.
Roughly around 20 years ago, we had the analog system in Papua New Guinea, like production, recording, and there were like reels and all that in studios. I was working with CHM back early 2000 as a session musician, and from that time to now, I think technology has changed. So now we are all into computerized and like all more like everything is digital. So music also has changed, but I think there needs to be a body set up to look at how we should do proper quality like check sort of for music before it gets into air. Before all months I record, and then there's a body that listens to the music before it gets out to the air back in the 90s. So that's why you'll hear the difference before and now. Recording before was more organized than today. Everybody gets to have royalties when they have their CDs or cassettes sold at shops. But today, it has dramatically changed because everybody is an engineer. When you have a computer, me work with music, me solo work with music now. But what I'm asked to work with music, like, are you making it to earn money or just, you know, for the fun of it? And music has become like not serious like before. It's just anybody can do anything and it gets out and everybody knows your song. But we should do music in a way where we can benefit from it and also help people to make good music, quality music, and standards, you know, has to be made properly.
Native to your heart, my girl. Walking on me heart, now you rock my world. No other one got a true expression. No other one just finest creation. First time love rushing on me head. 10 out of 10 since the day we met.
I think in the PNG music industry, I find guys like, you know, and Oala Moe, you know, who's moving, who's exploring new ways of getting out there. APRA is just registering, you know, like you register your license.
It does take some time, but it's important.
That, our artists have to understand is you don't have to wait till APRA sends you the okay to do music. The thing is, you can do music and then 5 years down the line, register, and APRA goes back and collects for you. As long as, you know, your songs are on TV, around, you know, the world, things are changing now. Technology is changing.
So you can always continue to keep moving and progressing forward.
Safeguard yourself. It will take you half a day, like, you know, going with the technology. But you have to register. You have to have somebody to police your work, and that's not just for music. That's for, you know, the stuff that's coming out of here and here. It's sad to say, but we're some of the poorest musicians in the country. PNG in the world, because our system's not put in place. The foundation is not strong. Sports now have a sports foundation that looks after them. I know in the social media and on Facebook, there's talk about forming a music foundation, but these things have to have government support, and government will support an initiative or an idea that they see that will benefit. And music can be a weapon of mass instruction or mass destruction. It can make you smile or sad. It's emotional. It's got all these elements in that can working with youth, troubled youth in Australia for 5-6 years. Music brings healing, and it's just writing it down and saying, this is the budget, this is what we're gonna do, this is how much it costs. A musician these days has to have that scope of, you're an entrepreneur. It's your business. You're gonna deal with businessmen. Unfortunately, it's one business in this industry where you have no excuse. If I have a gig on this day, this time, I have to show up, or else I'm gonna fail a lot of people. I'm gonna fail myself. So we found that even when I'm sick, even when she's sick, we just have to rock up and do the show. And we walk away more sick, but then the client is happy, the people are happy. It's a challenging industry.
Song me ang hata kilehuya. CMB pan the mic, come alive here one time say if you and K1, hey, give me the girl. Whose island carry me go. Manos bam me come back alone. You never hear that. You know where you
like us starting off, it was kind of hard trying to go to a recognized studio and to get something started, because you had to be recognized firstly as a musician, because these days I think in POM you don't just rock up to a studio and say, oh, I want a record, I want to do this.
Yeah.
You just can't. So we tried like sticking with Identical firstly, because they had an organized studio going on and they were affiliated with CHM. And they've helped us a lot with music production wise and just how to understand music and all that.
Yeah, they've done actually a lot for us.
Yeah. So just coming out from there, we thought, oh, we should give it a try, and then we started doing Nembi Hintak.
Yeah, which is a Manu song from where I'm from, Nembi Hintak, which basically means my girl. And
so
then
that was the first song we used to like sort of experiment, I say, with our own equipment, and we're happy with the way it turned out.
Yeah,
we
actually
a lot of people liked it. So yeah, that's the first song we started.
It was actually more of a confident boost for us, because usually we rely on other people to produce whatnot, and that was Webster's first song to produce, and he was quite like, doubtful whether he would be able to put something out there, and he actually did a good job, and we were impressed with that. And for us to record on our own again, that was a confident boost. So after that, then we were happy with where we were going, the sound we were producing, and I guess it was us finding our sound, and that was where it was going.
Yes.
Yeah. Like it's slowly breaking out where like everyone is having their hands on it, and it's like if you tune onto the radio now, or you just like go on WhatsApp, people are sending out songs that like, coming out from people you don't even know, who hasn't even been on the radio yet. So like everyone is recording now. So it's making it easy for everyone. Like you don't really need to go to a studio, like a recognized studio. Like people are doing it out of their bedrooms.
Sure.
Basically what we're doing.
With the technology these days, you can get the same sort of, I'd say almost the same sort of quality sound you get from a a big studio, like with everything inside, with all the instruments. But with technology these days, you can get almost the same sound from, just say, your room or even your living room. So, yeah.
But yeah, like, I guess what sets it apart is experience. Like, you have the big boys like Manu,
Oh yes,
Muganawa.
that's right.
So,
Yeah.
like, everyone has their hands on it, but then you go to people like, Toxic Man, Party Ports, all these people that have years of experience under their belt, and then that's where it sets everyone apart. Like,
With me tonight is the legendary radio veteran, Mr. Roger Hawafa from the FM 100 Talkback Show. Mr. Hawafa, can you comment on the music industry in Papua New Guinea?
Well, Michelle, I've been observing the music industry since before independence. And I go back to the 60s now, and even earlier than that. We had string bands, there was no acoustic or anything like that. Well, just acoustic, I'm sorry. No, none of these amplifiers and all that, And the style of music was very basic. But, since then, the improvement has been just tremendous. Everything just changed almost overnight with the introduction of amplifiers and microphones and all that. It just gave confidence to our musicians. There's nothing like giving confidence to our people, because once you give them confidence, they'll take it and run. And I think the music industry here in Papua New Guinea has really thrived in a major, major way. We need more Papua New Guineans involved in the production and also in the sale of our music here in Papua New Guinea. We need to have them there so that they can benefit fully from the industry that is now growing. And like everywhere else in, in the world, Michelle, the thing about music is that it's international, whether it's local Papua New Guinean or Fijian or Samoan or Tongan or whatever. People appreciate the music. There is no barrier to music. Music unites people. We all know that. But for our case here in Papua New Guinea, can I just say this, Michelle, and that is that the sky is the limit for all our artists here in Papua New Guinea. There's so many of them now, because when we first started, we only had one or two people or two bands, and then all of a sudden, overnight, it just grew. It just went like that. So the future for Papua New Guinea music is fantastic. Our musicians are more attuned to the way that people are playing overseas, and they try to imitate them. There is a certain type of danger in that, imitating other people's music, because when you do that, you lose touch with how the music was developed in Papua New Guinea, how the music generated thoughts and ideas and the values of Papua New Guinea. We tend to lose that. But thank God there are Papua New Guineans, and Slom and all those guys, who are really good at portraying the flavor, the Papua New Guinea flavor, into their songs, into their music, and it's fantastic. It is it is something that will soon reach a new height again in Papua New Guinea. You've got all these wonderful competitions that are going on. You've got vocal fusion and all that. And when you see them, you see in it the kind of confidence that our people are having in music, the understanding of music, like never before. All right? Whereas before they were just parroting words from for another era, now they're singing from their hearts. They're really giving it, giving it all from their hearts. So that's basically it. Music is the way forward for Papua New Guinea. Yeah. There have been a lot of songs written about Papua New Guinea. And our musicians are good at that, motivating Papua New Guineans to rise up and be counted as a people in this world. And I'm so proud of them, so really proud of them. There's always a tear in my eye when that happens. It's wonderful. But, to all the musicians here in Papua New Guinea, keep up the good work, have an enjoyable and a wonderful celebration. Our 40th year of independence is the time for us to cross over. You know, forget about the past and move forward. Happy independence, everybody.
And that's all we have for you tonight. For more business news, if you would simply like to view this episode again, visit MTV online at www.mtv.com.pg, or to join the conversation, like our page on Facebook for daily business news, or follow us on Twitter at BusinessPNG using the hashtag BusinessPNG. Until next week, enjoy the rest of your viewing on MTV. I'm Leon Jarari, and this was Business PNG.